Hey guys, welcome to Jack's Beautiful You. My name is Jackie, and on this channel we mostly talk about perfumes. Today's video, we're going to be talking about cold weather fragrances because it is cold. It is freezing cold. I live in South Carolina and I moved here to get away from snow and cold, and it snowed. And it's stuck. We've had in the past, since I've been here anyway, since I moved here, I've seen maybe like a couple flurries here and there, but I've never seen snow here where it actually stuck on the ground and lasted. And this is the first year since I've been here that there's actually snow. We got like 5, maybe 6 inches of snow. And it's funny because my work shut down, my husband's work shut down. I think the whole state shut down. People here are not used to snow, and it is so cold, and I'm not very happy about that. Like I said, I moved here to get away from snow. But anyway, luckily for me, I do enjoy cold weather fragrances. I don't like cold weather, but I love cold weather fragrances. And in the cold, I enjoy fragrances that are strong. I want strong beast mode perfumes that will cut through the cold weather. And this is the time. This is the time to enjoy these heavy hitters. So I have 10 perfumes here from my collection that are super heavy hitters for me. And I feel like if you're looking for that, you're looking for something for the cold weather, then I've got you covered. So if you're interested in seeing what my beast mode perfumes for cold weather are, then just keep on watching. All right, we're gonna start off with a classic. This is a perfume that is super strong, and I feel like you have to be careful. You can't overspray this or you're gonna choke everybody out, and it doesn't smell as good when it's oversprayed. But if you go lightly on the trigger, then I think it's beautiful. This is by Chanel, and this is Coco Mademoiselle Intense. This is the intense version. I do really like the original version as well, and that is also a beast mode fragrance, but the intense version has a little bit more patchouli and a little bit more vanilla, and I do enjoy this one a little bit more than the original. But wow, is this strong. I love smelling this on other people. I have actually had patients that have come in and I've smelled this on them, and I think it smells so good. It smells so elegant, so classy, but this is definitely a polarizing fragrance. Some people think this fragrance is too mature. I really can only wear this in cold weather because it is so patchouli heavy, but it's the patchouli that I like. I've told you guys before, this clean, warm smelling patchouli that's in here is enjoyable for me. It doesn't smell dirty or earthy to me at all, and I love Chanel's patchouli. I think Chanel does patchouli like no one else, and it's just so classy and elegant and beautiful. This does have less citrusy. It's citrusy in the opening like the original Coco Mademoiselle, but it's less. I feel like it's a little bit more toned down in the citrus department, and like I said, a lot more vanilla and a lot more patchouli in the intense version, which is why I prefer it. So yeah, just be careful, don't overspray or you're going to choke people out. I feel like that's the complaint on this perfume, that when people don't like Coco Mademoiselle, it's because the people who wear it are just like so heavy-handed with it that it's just overpowering. But if you go a little easy on the trigger, I feel like that's where the magic really is. And I think this is just such a classic, timeless, sophisticated fragrance that I just absolutely love. So that is by Chanel Coco Mademoiselle Intense. Oh, by the way, my look today is brought to you by Stranger Things. I was watching that show. I love that show. You have to be into sci-fi to enjoy it, but oh my gosh, I absolutely love Stranger Things. It's one of my favorite shows. And I was watching it and I just love the 80s situation going on in that show. It's set in the 80s, and it's so great. And so I just love the 80s. I think the 80s were so fun. I mean, color everywhere, wild, just wild, wild. It just so fun. It makes me laugh. It makes me feel like a kid. The 80s are a little bit before my time. I was pretty young in the 80s. I actually went to high school. I'm more of a 90s person. I'm a 90s kid, but I still really think the 80s were super, super fun, and I like the style. So I just was like, yeah, I'm in an 80s. I want to do an 80s look today. Anyway, back to the perfumes. Next up, this next one is for my boozy lovers. If you love a good boozy note in your fragrances, then this is definitely for you. This is by Andrea Maack Jest. And this has a lot of rum in here, a lot of rum. So you definitely have to be into that, but I love it. I think it smells so intoxicating. Get it? Intoxicating. It's so good, you guys. I don't really feel like this smells like I spilled rum all over me. It's definitely part of the composition of the perfume. Mixed with the other notes, it still smells like a perfume. So I never feel like I'm just some drunk who can't hold their liquor and it, spilled liquor all over myself at the bar. No, I don't feel that way at all when I wear this. Boozy notes for me just accent perfumes so well, and it's a very sexy, very appealing scent for me. It's so good. This has some fruity notes in it. There's plum in here. I believe there's apple. And again, did I mention lots and lots of rum? There's some cardamom in here, so there's a little bit of a spiciness to it. It's very warm, spicy, lots of vanilla, and there is some chocolate in here as well, which is definitely noticeable for me, but I don't pick it up until the mid to the dry down. I have to wear it on my skin and, give it time to develop, and then that chocolate comes out, but it never gets to be too chocolatey. It's there, but it's just balanced so well. I think this is such a gorgeous fragrance, but it is powerful. It is super, super strong, and it fills up a room. All right, up next is a newer one to my collection as well. I'm really excited to wear this one. This one is absolutely fantastic. This is by Plume Impression, and this is Royal Bourbon. Again, this is boozy, but it's not nearly as boozy as Jest is. I get rum in here, but not like Jest. This is more toned down. This is more of a cinnamon forward. Lots of cinnamon, not too much though. Well, there's quite a bit of cinnamon in here. You gotta like cinnamon. This smells so good. This is so addicting. The spices are cinnamon, ginger, and black pepper, I believe. I don't get a ton of the black pepper, thankfully. That's not always my favorite thing. I get mostly cinnamon and ginger. I think there might be some sort of like licorice note or something like that in here, or at least I'm picking something like that up, but it's very toned down. It's not overpowering. Lots of tobacco. Definitely a tobacco forward scent. This is beautiful, you guys. It's warm, spicy, tobacco, vanilla, a little boozy, definitely ambery warm, and I do believe there are some woody notes in the base of this fragrance as well. This perfume, when I first smelled it, it reminded me very strongly of Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille, but 1,000 times better in my opinion, because I don't like Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. What ruins Tobacco Vanille for me are the cloves. The cloves are so prominent in that fragrance. It smells sickly to me. It's awful. I just cannot stand it. This is what I wanted Tobacco Vanille to smell like without the cloves. It still has that spice to it, but it's not cloves to the extreme like that fragrance is for me. This is such a smooth, well-blended, spicy, warm, tobacco-y, vanilla, ambery, woody scent, and I just think it's fantastic. I just absolutely love it. Okay, this next one is one I have been talking about a lot lately because I loved it. It was one of my favorite finds of 2024. I don't think it came out in 2024, but I discovered it for myself in 2024, and I just lost my mind with this fragrance. It is super beast mode. I have other fragrances that are not boozy in here, okay? This one has some boozy notes in it too. We're going to get off the boozy notes here in a minute, but this is by Jusbox, Siren, and Sailors. Listen, if you are, ooh, look, I match. If you are someone who loves rose fragrances, specifically like jammy rose fragrances, you've got to get your nose on this. This is so incredibly gorgeous, but it's not just jammy rose. There's osmanthus in here, which reminds me of apricots. It smells like apricot jam or something like that in here, like a jammy rose and apricot jam and like maybe like a little bit of peach jam mixed together to create this gorgeous, fruity, rosy, jammy scent that just, am I going to smell it? I'm going to smell it. I don't have a perfume on yet for the day. I haven't decided what I want to wear. This is probably going to be it. I just am obsessed with this. It's sweet, it's boozy, but not too boozy. I mean, it has, well, there's like two different types of booze in here. This is definitely got some booziness going on, but again, it doesn't smell like you poured a drink on yourself or anything like that. It just smells sexy to me. It's so good, and definitely a strong beast mode will fill up the room. You are dedicated to wearing this scent for the entire day if you choose to wear this. And I really like the bottle. I think the bottle is really cute. All right, let's talk about a Beast Mode Gourmand perfume. If you love gourmands, but you want something super strong that will cut through the cold, then you need to check out by Giardini di Toscana Bianco Latte. This is so strong and will definitely take you through your day and is strong enough to cut through the cold, absolutely. And this is still to date my #1 most complimented perfume in my collection. I get compliments on this every single time. I think it smells so good on me. Like this and my skin chemistry go together like two peas in a pod, okay? This is just fantastic. I get tons of vanilla from this, and I also get a lot of the honey and the caramel, and it smells like a cookie to me. I get something in here that reminds me of cinnamon. I think it's coumarin that's in here, but I don't get coumarin. Can kind of be tricky. It can kind of morph itself to smell like different things depending on what it's mixed with, and probably depending on your skin chemistry. For some people, it's not great and it can give like a weird scent. It is what I think is happening with some people. I think some people who don't like this, that coumarin's just not working for them. On me, it just kind of smells like cinnamon. So I get this like cinnamon, vanilla, honey, caramel cookie. That's what I get. I don't really pick up lactonic vibes from this. I know it's supposed to be a latte scent. I know it's supposed to have that latte feel, but I don't get that. I never have from this fragrance, which is just fine because I like smelling like cookies. I'm cool with that. Okay, one of my favorite notes to wear in cold weather is honey. And my favorite honey scent in my collection is by Navitus, and this is Miel Extase. And this fragrance is a honey bomb. It's so good, you guys. But of course, obviously, you have to like honey, you have to like sweet fragrances, and you have to like gourmands. And you have to like a little bit of boozy notes. Because there is rum in here, I believe, which I do pick up on, but it's very slight. It's not overpoweringly boozy. Actually, you know, Dolce Diablo could have been easily in this video as well because it's super strong. That one has more of a boozy feel to it than this. These two, Dolce Diablo and this fragrance, get compared to each other a lot, but I definitely pick up differences. I don't think they're the same. They go in completely different directions, in my opinion. This one is definitely honey focused. So again, you have to like honey, which I do. I love honey. This is so good. It also has some fruity, like some dried fruits and apricots in here. I think there's some chocolate in here, definitely some vanilla. Very gourmand, very delicious, very strong. And again, this is a perfume I have to wear in cold weather only because it is so strong and it is so heavy on the honey that if I were to try to wear this in the summertime, I would die. I would just die. It would just probably make me sick to my stomach, but in the cold weather, this perfume absolutely sings and I love it. Okay, I love spicy fragrances, nice spicy fragrances in the cold weather. And one of my favorite spicy vanillas is by Nishane Ani. And this is the original Ani, not Ani X. I tried Ani X and I actually prefer the OG Ani over Ani X, but I did like Ani X as well. But this is just spicy. Now, this is not for everyone because if you don't like spicy fragrances and if you don't like green vanillas, you might not like this. But this is citruses in the opening, lots of spices. I think there's a lot of cardamom in here, which I'm a big fan of cardamom. But the cardamom note, I think for some people, makes this perfume smell masculine leaning. I've heard a lot of people say this is masculine leaning on them, and I don't get that. This is not masculine leaning on me. I think there's so much vanilla in this perfume that my brain doesn't interpret this as masculine leaning at all. It's not necessarily feminine leaning, but it's like perfectly unisex to me. But this is definitely one to try before you buy. Don't blind buy Ani. This is not safe. I was really scared of this fragrance at first because people were, you know, saying that this was a green vanilla, and I don't always get along with green notes, but in here it's done really well. It's not sharp, it's not bitter, it's not plant-like where it's bitter and harsh. It doesn't smell like bamboo or anything like that. This is just a soft in the green department, to my nose. I don't get a ton of the green. I just get a little soft green feel. Lots and lots of vanilla and lots of spice and lots of citrus. but this might be too spicy for some people. So like I said, definitely check this one out, but I love it. I think it's so beautiful in the cold weather, and holy crap, is this thing strong. This next fragrance I feel like is an all year round fragrance because it's fruity and floral. So that kind of reminds me of like spring and summer, but the performance is strong enough that you could wear this in cold weather and it'll cut through the cold. So like I said, you could wear this all year round, but right now in the cold weather, this just smells so good. This is by Sospiro and this is Dolce Melodia. And this is pretty new to my collection. I had tested this fragrance out a while ago and fell in love with it. And I just had it on my wish list and I kept putting it off because of the price tag. It was so, this is not a cheap perfume, okay? But then So Avant Garde had a sale and I saw this on sale at a pretty good discount and I snatched it up because I have been dying to have this in my collection. So this has some fruity notes in the opening. You have orange, you have pear, and you have black currant. There's definitely saffron in here too, which I really like that combo. Sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes saffron doesn't work in these types of fragrances for me, and then sometimes it really does. It just depends on how it's done, but I love the saffron in here. And then there's some floral notes in here. I believe there's jasmine, rose, but I can't really pick out a specific floral note. I wouldn't know it was jasmine. I wouldn't know it was rose. The base is vanilla, musk, and sandalwood. The musk in here is definitely present, but it is, to my nose, a very clean, very warm, very smooth kind of musk. I am very particular about musk. Not all musk is created equal. I have a very specific way I like musk done. And if it's not the way I like, then to my nose, I perceive it as scratchy and it actually makes me itch. It makes me imagine that I have a scratchy, uncomfortable sweater on. And it's very uncomfortable for me. So this is the kind of musk that I enjoy. It's musky, it's vanilla, and beautiful, creamy sandalwood in the dry down of this fragrance. It's absolutely stunning. All right, another rose scent. I'm a big rose fan. I love rose in my perfumes, one of my favorite notes. And this one is just such a love. Like, I blind bought this and I took a huge risk with this fragrance because I do not typically enjoy this house. This is by Tiziana Terenzi Delox. What a beauty of a fragrance. And wow, does this sing in cold weather. I mean, right now, this is just it. This again has that jammy rose. But this is different from Siren and Sailors because while it does have the same jammy rose note, this goes in a coffee and honey direction for me. I get a slight bit of honey and I get a smooth coffee, but it's not overpowering to the point where I feel like I spilled a cup of coffee on me. It's not like that at all. But I can definitely tell that there's coffee in here. Hopefully that makes sense. For me, this is the perfect balance. I don't like too much coffee in a perfume, but in here, to me, this is done so well. It's super smooth. There's no sharp edges. You know, this replaced my Montal's Ristretto Intense Cafe. I loved that fragrance for the longest time. It had that beautiful jammy rose coffee combination. But then after a while, I got this really weird synthetic and metallic, something really off-putting started to come through for me on that fragrance, and I no longer enjoyed it, and I had to get rid of it. And I was really bummed because I really enjoy that rosy coffee scent profile for cold weather. And I had to have something to replace it. So I did a bunch of research and it seemed like people were saying this was a good alternative and much, much smoother. And I 100% agree. That is totally my experience with this. It's so good. All right, and last but definitely not least, I have talked about this perfume so many times on my channel, but I have to put this in here because this is a beast of a perfume. And no, I have not tried the extrait version yet. I need to because I've heard so many good things about it. But I haven't tried it yet. But this is by the House of Argos, and this is Triumph of Bacchus, which is what made me fall in love with the House of Argos in the first place. I didn't really know about Argos, and I had heard a bunch of people raving about this. I bought this bottle, and I was like, hello. Hello. What is this? This is a masterpiece. I have loved this perfume since the minute I tried it, and it has not gone away. I still love this fragrance. However, What the key is for me is not to overdo it. There was one time that I oversprayed this fragrance and I did not enjoy it when I oversprayed it. It was way, way too much. But if you just do a couple of sprays, it is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. It has apple, it has saffron, it has rum. It has the most gorgeous tobacco note ever. I think ever. I still have yet to try a tobacco fragrance that I love more than this one. I love the tobacco note in here because it reminds me of an unlit cigar. It's like someone took a cigar, didn't light it, and you can just smell the sweetness of the tobacco in the cigar without it actually being smoky. You know what I mean? Like, to me, this is not a smoky tobacco, and I love, love, love this fragrance. But again, less is more with this fragrance. Don't overspray this one. It is strong and you only need a couple sprays. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. Those are my beast mode perfumes for cold weather. I hope you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful. Let me know what you think of these fragrances. Have you tried them? Do you like them? Do you love them? Do you hate them? And what suggestions do you have for me for a beast mode perfume that will cut through cold weather? Let me know. I love to hear from you guys. I hope everybody is having an amazing day. If you like this video and you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye.